What is the deeper meaning of your sexuality? How can you access it amid a world where slut-shaming, objectification, and control are second nature for women? I'm sharing the exact journey that you can take. This is regardless of your age, your weight, or your background, or your experience. Explore the spirituality of your sexuality. Welcome back to my channel. Today, let's talk about self-care that you can do for tuning into your sexuality, your pleasure, and your confidence in your body. This is the third time I've recorded this because I actually just realized I had so much to say. I just wanted to express what I needed to express about this because it really is such a big topic. I hope that more women can get in touch with their sexuality, feel safe to do so, see the truth about their sexuality. Because I feel like it's just become so controlled, so confused, so shamed, kind of becomes scary for a lot of women to own their sexuality, to enjoy it. So let's get into it. There's a million degrees right now, but I'm doing it for you because if I turn the AC on, it's gonna ruin the noise. So I'm like sweating everywhere. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and please join the newsletter below because I'm sharing a self-care newsletter every week. I've got lots of resources and videos on tuning into your body, tuning into your confidence and your joy. Okay, so today we're gonna go through, what is sexuality for women and how to tune into it, what you can do as a daily practice to get more in touch, more confident with your sexuality, also what not to do. I think we should start with what is women's sexuality because I feel like the first thing that comes up for me is thinking about how men, also women I should say, shame other women. So just a side note about slut shaming, this word didn't enter the dictionary till 2018. It typically involves double standards in which a woman is put down for behavior that a man would be celebrated for. It is serious and it's a form of bullying. You're a slut, you're a whore. It's kind of like the go-to insult, and it works every time. Like every woman I know has been slut shamed at one point in her life or another, and it's extremely painful. Why is that? Why is it so easy to do this to women, and why does it cut so deep? I think our sexuality is extremely powerful. A woman's sexuality is so powerful, and historically, anything that is very powerful is controlled. And a woman's sexuality is no different. Our sexuality is controlled in a lot of ways. It is monetized, it is objectified. It has been kind of sold back to us in this really cheap and boring package. And when you look at media and society today, and you had to describe sexuality, it would probably be pretty square, it'd be pretty boring. And it would leave a lot of women feeling like they don't belong, that they're not a part of it, that they're not sexy. They don't fit the description. It kind of turns you off from even enjoying your pleasure and your sexuality. The way that women's sexuality has been controlled by media and society, just think about all the ways you felt shame and guilt. Honestly, I don't even know where to start. Pregnancy, body count, how many partners you've had, how you dress, all the ways that it can be pointed back at us. It's because of you. It's because of your sexuality. You did it. If we could just step out of that box for 1 minute and see the truth of your sexuality. So move beyond the shame, the guilt, the fear, the self-doubt, and see that actually your sexuality is something so much deeper. It actually has nothing to do with a partner. It's not about the physical act of sex. It is just this beautiful energy that you have. It's within you. Even if you think it's not, I don't have it, I don't feel it, I lost my mojo, whatever you call it, it is there. And you can tap into it for healing, for creativity, for art, for manifesting visions. It goes beyond the act of sex. So whoever's watching this, whether you are with a partner, whether you're celibate, whether you sleep around, whatever floats your boat, you can tune into a deeper version of your sexuality. Everyone can have totally unique goals. So let's start here. Let's say you're somebody who has no idea what their sexual energy even means or how to connect to it. Maybe you're somebody who is a little bit in touch with it, but you're looking to find a deeper meaning behind it, dive into the spirituality of it. Maybe you have experienced some sort of trauma and you're looking to heal. Whoever is watching, whatever that might be, let's start with this one question, and how you answer this question is gonna really determine your path, your healing path, on how you align with your sexuality. Do you feel safe in your body? This is, sorry you guys, I'm like actually dripping sweat right now. But do you feel safe in your body? And it's okay if you don't, but this is where we need to start, because especially for somebody who's been through trauma, sexual assault, rape, it's important to start at the beginning, not jump too far ahead into feeling sexual, maybe improving your intimacy. Like, just leave that for a moment and let's start at establishing safety in your body, making sure your nervous system is calm and relaxed, and that you have little to no stress. Okay? So if you feel safe in your body, if you feel very connected, you have a holistic practice already, that's amazing. So we're going to get into the practices in a moment. If you don't feel safe in your body, I would start so slow. And like, I say this from experience, I used to have a super imbalanced nervous system. I was holding on to a lot of trauma from sexual assault, from abuse. I just didn't have any connection to my body. I didn't feel safe. And then I would do like these band-aid things to feel sexy, like buy lingerie, buy clothes, like do my hair, buy products. And they worked in the short term, very temporarily. But when it comes to like long term, like tuning into your authentic confidence and sexuality, obviously it did nothing, because I was masking something so deep. I was putting like a band-aid over like the deepest wound, and it just wasn't helping the situation. What I discovered is that when I went back to square one, I went back to basics, and I just was like, okay, look, I'm gonna do some breathing every day to calm my nervous system. I'm going to do some very earthy root chakra practices to connect to my body. And as I did that, day by day, I just started to feel myself. I started to feel my inner world. And that is kind of where I went next, is once I started to feel a little bit less stressed, less anxious, more calm, I was able to spend each day doing like a self-care practice, tuning into my inner world. What am I feeling? What are the sensations? What are my triggers? What are my emotions? Like, just be so curious about yourself. The more that you align with your inner world, the more you build authentic confidence, because you start to truly know yourself and trust yourself. And this comes into intimacy and sex as well. Like, when you really know what you want, what makes you feel good, it's so easy to communicate, to have better intimacy, not even just with a partner, but on your own. Your cycles, your rhythms. It just helps you go deeper, aligning with that energy. I found that really helpful for me. Like, after all of that, I honestly don't even know how long that took, and I didn't rush it. It probably took a year, honestly. I think it took a year, maybe longer. But then I started to get into the more tantra and like womb based yoga practices, which were specifically of like tapping into sexual energy, like feeling into your feminine anatomy, tuning into your breasts, your yoni. That is when I felt like the craziest connection to my body that I've never felt before. Really frustrating, because I'm someone who went to yoga, like I went to different kinds of studios and classes, but none of them ever guided us to like feel our bodies this way or connect to our bodies this way. I feel like these are just other versions of the patriarchy. Like, even in a yoga studio, it's actually not that spiritual. It's actually quite controlled and patriarchal. The practices that I did were kind of like the underground of yoga. I was like practicing them with women who were kind of leading this movement of using yoga to empower women. Sure, I had done meditations before, but I'd never done a meditation with my vagina or my breasts. So when I started to do these practices, it's like I felt like a goddess, and I really don't like to use that word a lot because it's so annoying and overused, but I started to feel very magical. I started to feel very empowered, and and protective of myself, of my body, my energy, you know, noticing who I brought into my world, into my environment. Wherever you're at in your journey, just, you know, see the timeline of like, okay, do I feel safe in my body? Okay, can I calm my nervous system? Okay, how's my inner awareness? How can I start to build that up? Now let's go to the deeper practices and watch everything unfold from there. I would love to hear, what do you think about women's sexuality? If you can comment, if you can share, you know, like, what does it mean to you? For me, it was definitely a healing journey, and it was a space to access more creativity. But everyone's can be different. I can't stress this enough, the power of a daily self-care practice. It's, you know, the wellness industry has become so monetized. It's become fad after fad after fad. We easily get bored. We don't have really long attention spans these days. So I think it's easy to take like a course, or, you know, to take a lesson or a new class, and you're like, oh, what's next? What's the next best thing? And we're all kind of like, in a way, I see the yoga industry, like the spiritual wellness scene, kind of competing in a way. Like, people are like, oh, did you try this? Oh no. Well, you've got to try this. Have you been to this healer? And it's like, that is kind of losing the purpose of what this is all about. If you're new to my work and like my offerings, I really love to keep things simple and just have a daily self-care practice. Just, you know, even 10 minutes, a few practices that feel good in your body, and just take it day by day. That's all. I'm gonna put stuff under the video, like different practices from my channel that you can explore. And okay, so just to recap, if you're someone who is looking to start self-care to access your sexuality, follow the timeline. You know, first off, of really getting curious, like, what is women's sexuality? Like, what does that even mean to me? Noticing if you can have a mindset shift, coming out of the patriarchal view of what women's sexuality is, and coming into this new positive mindset belief that women's sexuality, or you can say my sexuality, is so special, so powerful, so magical. It's a cosmic space. It's an energy of the universe that is flowing through me, and I can always tap into it for my healing, for my empowerment, for my creativity. And then noticing if you feel safe in your body, inviting some very gentle practices in for stress, and balancing your nervous system if you sense that you need them. And then from there, the inner awareness practices. Again, I'll put links below my video, but I can't stress enough the importance of knowing your inner world. Like, really trusting your feelings, your emotions, your tensions, every single day. There's so much to discover about you. And from there, you can get into the good stuff, get into the more magical practices of like tuning into your breasts, doing the breast meditations, like so many different asanas and breathwork and meditations that you can do with your yoni, with your vulva, with your clitoris, with your uterus, with all of your parts that are so magical, and the cervix, of course, which is known in some yogic philosophy as like the most cosmic space, this like space where energy exchanges into your world from the external world. So wherever you're at in the journey, I'm sending you lots of love to connect to your feminine energy, your sexuality, your creativity, and just trust that you are so magical. You are so beautiful. You are so wonderful, and never let anyone tell you differently. I'm telling this to myself as well. Keep enjoying yourself. Keep enjoying your magic. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I'm dying. I'm so hot.